Alright, so here's the second part of the mission where we recruit Liara and the aftermath of what happens. So without further ado, here it is.
Too close, Commander. 10 more seconds we would have been swimming in molten sulfur. The Normandy isn't equipped to land in exploding volcanoes. They tend to fry our sensors and melt our hull. Just for future reference.
We almost died out there and your pilot is making jokes?
Joker pulled our asses out of there. I think he's earned the right to a few bad jokes.
I see. It must be a human thing. I don't have a lot of experience dealing with your species, Commander. But I am grateful to you. You saved my life back there, and not just from the volcano. Those Geth would have killed me or dragged me off to Saren.
What did Saren want with you? Do you know something about the conduit?
Only that it was somehow connected to the Prothean extinction. That is my real area of expertise. I have spent the past 50 years trying to figure out what happened to them.
How old are you exactly?
I hate to admit it, but I am only 106.
Damn! I hope I look that good when I'm your age.
A century may seem like a long time to a short-lived species like yours, but among the Asari I am barely considered more than a child. That is why my research has not received the attention it deserves. Because of my youth, other Asari scholars tend to dismiss my theories on what happened to the Protheans.
Did your research turn up anything interesting?
What is interesting is what I did not turn up. There is remarkably little archaeological evidence of the Protheans, and even less that might explain why they disappeared. It is almost as if someone did not want the mystery solved. It is like someone came along after the Protheans were gone and cleansed the galaxy of clues. But here is the incredible part. According to my findings, the Protheans were not the first galactic civilization to mysteriously vanish. This cycle began long before them.
Where'd you come up with this theory? I thought there wasn't any evidence.
I have been working on this for 50 years. I have tracked down every scrap and shred of evidence. Eventually, subtle patterns start to emerge, patterns that hint at the truth. It is difficult to explain to someone else. I cannot point to one specific thing to prove my case. It is more a feeling derived from a half-century of dedicated research. But I know I'm right, and eventually I will be able to prove it. There were other civilizations before the Protheans. This cycle has repeated itself many times over.
If the Protheans weren't the first, then who was?
I don't know. There is barely any evidence on the Protheans, even less on those who came before them. I cannot prove my theory, but I know I am right. The galaxy is built on a cycle of extinction. Each time a great civilization rises up, it is suddenly and violently cast down. Only ruins survive. The Protheans rose up from a single world until their empire spanned the entire galaxy. Yet even they climbed to the top on the remains of those who came before. Their greatest achievements, the mass relays and the Citadel, are based on the technology of those who came before them. And then, like all the other forgotten civilizations throughout galactic history, the Protheans disappeared. I have dedicated my life to figuring out why.
They were wiped out by a race of sentient machines. The Reapers.
The Reapers? But I have never heard of... How do you know this? What evidence do you have?
There was a damaged Prothean beacon on Eden Prime. It burned a vision into my brain. I'm still trying to sort out what it all means.
A beacon? Yes, that makes sense. But the beacons were not programmed to interact with human physiology. I am surprised you were able to make any sense of it at all.
It's just a bunch of random images, even after I got the cipher.
The cipher?
Some Asari mumbo-jumbo, supposed to help the commander think like a Prothean. I don't know if it worked, though.
The cipher altered my perception of the visions, but it's subtle. I still can't make sense of what I'm seeing.
And this was something another Asari did to you? Commander, with your permission, I would like to try something. You were touched by the beacon. The visions are locked away inside your mind. One of my people gave you a deeper understanding of the visions, but you still cannot put all the pieces of the puzzle together. I might be able to help you.
What do you have in mind?
Like the Asari who gave you the cipher, I can join my consciousness to yours. Maybe my knowledge of the Protheans will help clarify your vision.
It's worth a shot.
Relax, Commander. Embrace eternity. That was incredible. All this time, all my research, yet I never dreamed. I am sorry. The images were so vivid. I never imagined the experience would be so intense. You are remarkably strong-willed, Commander. What you have been through, what you have seen, would have destroyed a lesser mind.
Come on, get to the point. What'd you see?
The beacon on Eden Prime must have been badly damaged. Large parts of the vision are missing. The data transferred into the Commander's mind is incomplete.
What's our next move?
Saren knew you were touched by the beacon on Eden Prime. He probably came after me because he feared I could help you understand it. I was able to interpret the data relayed through your vision, what was there at least, find the missing portion, and I am confident I can put all the pieces together.
Good to have you on the team, Liara.
Thank you, Commander. I am very grateful. Oh, I am afraid I am feeling a bit lightheaded.
When was the last time you ate? Or slept? Dr. Chakwa should take a look at you.
It is probably just mental exhaustion, coupled with the shock of discovering the Prothean's true fate. I need some time to process all this. Still, it could not hurt to be examined by a medical professional. It will give me the chance to think things over. Are we finished here, Commander?
Go see the doctor. The rest of you, dismissed.
Mission reports are filed, Commander. You want me to patch you through to the Council?
Patch him through, Joker.
Setting up the link now, Commander.
We've received your report, Commander. I understand Dr. Tassoni is on the Normandy.
I assume you're taking the necessary security precautions.
Don't tell me how to do my job.
You are free to act as you see fit, Commander. Our role is to offer guidance and advice.
It's up to you if you're smart enough to listen.
Liara's on our side. The Geth were trying to kill her.
Benezia would never allow Saren to kill her daughter.
Maybe she doesn't know.
Or maybe we don't know her. We never expected she could become a traitor.
At least the mission was a success.
Apart from the utter destruction of a major Prothean ruin. Was that really necessary, Shepard?
The Geth were crawling all over those ruins. We were lucky to make it out alive.
Of course, Commander. The mission must always take priority.
Good luck, Commander. Remember, we are all counting on you.
So, I love that interaction. It gives a lot of information, and you, at least with the characters that are involved in that, get a sense that, you know, hey, they do know what's going on. You know, they know about the parameters of the mission. They remember things that happened, so it's cool to see. But first off, let me get this out of the way. Turian Counselor is a dick. Plain and simple. I mean, come on now. The ruins were destroyed, blah blah blah. Dude, seismic activity. Not much I could do about that. And, you know, took out a Krogan Battlemaster and a bunch of Geth. Come on now. But anyway, but you could see the interaction. You can clearly see Liara is interested in Shepard for the knowledge that he has, what's in his brain, and the academic in her is just fascinated by it, which is cool. You could see that, and then you could see Ashley just kind of getting fed up with it a little bit. She just wants to know how that all pertains to the mission. But anyway, that whole part is really cool, and I think it shows the depth, or maybe depth's the wrong word, but the attention to detail that you can feel between the characters, and you could sort of see a crew-like atmosphere in that area. And then you also have to see, well, Shepard does have to answer to the Council, as much of a chagrin that might be. But anyway, just those are my 2 cents on that, and then we're going to see some interactions with some crew members.
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my medal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I, pulled your boots out of the fire.
If we present you with a medal, you'll end up sitting on stage listening to politicians make speeches for a couple of hours. Fun.
That's a good point. They'd probably make me shave, too. I spent the last 7 weeks working on this baby. No medal's worth that. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
I have to go.
Alright, see ya.
Anything you need, Commander?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Dr. Tassoni. Seems like a sweet girl. Easy on the eyes. I mean, if you like the bookish sort.
Just remember, Lieutenant, I saw her first.
Only by a few seconds, sir.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I didn't figure you'd have time to talk with all that's going on. There's gotta be some xenobiologists who want to read about the Thorian.
All in triplicate, I'm sure. Did you want to see me?
I'm just looking for an ear. The debriefing wasn't the right place to say how ridiculous this is. Seems like every other race in the galaxy is wrapped up in their own problems. They don't want to see what's coming.
So can I guess this will add to your resentment against aliens?
Resentment? Against aliens? I mean, I'm not... What makes you think that?
I think you'd carry a grudge over the crap you took from Vernus.
Before I met Vernus, I knew as much as any other civilian. Aliens were weird, superior, and tried to tell us what to do. I mean, it's only been 26 years since first contact. That's not a lot of time to understand them. But it was Vernus who made me see how human aliens are. They're not different or special. They're jerks and saints, just like us. Hell, by the time I got payback, I didn't even want it anymore.
Blowhards are easy to brush off. How'd he finally get under your skin?
He hurt Rana. Broke her arm. She reached for a glass of water instead of pulling it biotically. She just wanted a drink without getting a nosebleed, you know? Like an idiot, I stood up. Didn't know what I was gonna do, just something. And Vernus lost it. Beat the crap out of me. Kept shouting how they should have bombed us back to the Stone Age. And that's when the knife came up. A military-issue talon, right in my face. I cut loose. Full biotic kick right in the teeth. Almost as strong as I can manage now. But at 17, that's something.
Sat down by a kid. Vernus must have hated that.
He didn't have time to hate it. I killed him. Snapped his neck. They probably could have saved him if they got him to an infirmary quick enough. But they didn't. Caused a stir when they shipped him home. Bot training was shut down. Kinetics folded a couple of years later. So, yeah, maybe I hated that Turian. I mean, if one ass was enough to judge a whole race, I'd hate humans too.
A reasonable stance. Keep that level head and we'll do fine.
Staying reasonable is about all we've got left. Everyone else in this galaxy seems to have gone out of their minds. Present company accepted, of course.
So, and then this interaction, I just like to see especially with the backstory that I created, the friendship between Caden and Shepard, and you know they know each other, but they don't know everything about each other. So Caden's kind of taken aback when he says that he might hate aliens, but it's not so much that he hates them. It's just like Vernus was a dick, and he stood up for what was right, and he brings up this notion that I think becomes evident throughout the game, but it just kind of comes out in plain terms here that yeah, they're aliens, but I mean they're jerks and saints like everyone else. So I mean it's not just a human thing, it's a galaxy thing, I guess. So I thought that was a cool sentiment, and in the beginning being kind of bros is like, hey, Liara's pretty hot, right? So I just like that camaraderie that you feel there, and things are kind of going right now, and despite what the council thinks, and I guess we'll see more later.
Commander, Are you coming to check up on me?
You look much better. How are you feeling?
Dr. Chakwas assures me I am going to be fine. I was impressed with her knowledge of Asari physiology.
You're in good hands. Dr. Chakwas knows what she's doing.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up,
I'm just glad we got there in time.
So am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
This hurts you, doesn't it?
None of this makes any sense to me. I have not spoken to Benezia in many years, but I know her, and this was not like her. Something changed.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits on to our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood. Though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face, it is a great insult among my people. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
Maybe she wanted to meet you but couldn't. Something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
I should go.
Goodbye, Commander.
And there we see and get some information about the Asari as a people, and just a little bit of Liara, and she's kind of worried about Benezi. I mean, I guess you can sense she hasn't talked. Well, she tells you she hasn't talked to her mother in quite some time, so there's some kind of bad blood there, or you would assume. But I think in terms of Nathan talking to her, not only is it just getting information about Benezia from her, but I think he finds it refreshing that Liara can be so clinical, and that's kind of in a good way. Like she's already said she doesn't have much experience with dealing with humans, but it's just she's so absorbed in her work and her personality is such that she can be clinical, and I guess it's somewhat refreshing because there's a lot of emotion running through the crew with a lot of stress, and just that clinical aspect lets Shepard take a step back and just kind of, they're openly discussing Asari mating rituals and the biology behind it, but there's nothing overtly sexual about it. It's pure fascination on both their parts and clinical, and I think that's kind of cool. Now, granted, if I played it another way, or how I usually play it, Liara is the love interest that I pick almost every time. I mean, she's fan service, yes, but I mean, I think I just really like her character, and being I'm not a bookish sort, but I'm introverted and things like that. It just kind of identify with that character. So anyway, enough about that, and we'll talk to Garrus next.
Commander, I wanted to thank you.
What for, Garrus?
For everything. Taking me with you, letting me be part of your team. I've learned a lot. I've thought a lot about what you've told me. About not sacrificing innocence to achieve the goal. About finding the best way through, not just the fastest. And I've been thinking about Dr. Salion, too. I'd convinced myself that he deserved to die, but then I started thinking about why I wanted him dead. I realized it wasn't because of what he did to those people. That was part of it, but I think most of it was because he got away from me. He escaped under my watch, and I didn't like that. I let it become personal.
Words mean nothing until you turn them into action, Garrus. What are you going to do about it?
Well, I'm going back to CSEC. I think I can make a difference there. I'll also reapply for Spectre training, but I'll do it right. I won't compromise myself to get there. If the people I'm sworn to protect can't trust me, then I don't deserve to be the one protecting them.
I'm glad you see it that way. Keep that in mind when we meet Saren.
Don't worry, Commander. I will.
So way back when I did my my background story for Nathan, I mentioned after the Elysium issue, he became a leader that he didn't know he can be, and I think that really applies here. He's taken all that training and honed it, and he knows he's a leader. He's capable of it, and I mentioned this before when we did the Dr. Salion mission for Garrus. It's a teaching moment, and I think he saw the potential in Garrus to be better than what he was, and I think it makes Shepard feel good that he was able to get that across to Garrus, and for Garrus to acknowledge that and to want to change for the better. And so that's character development, and I like that a lot. And Garrus is going to be a staple through the whole series, and is one of my favorite bros. And you just see a small part of it there. Kind of wish there was more in this game, but they make up for it in the next two games. So, yeah.
Hey, Skipper. Any interest in a small drink? It's a special occasion.
What's the occasion?
It's Armistice Day, when the First Contact War ended. My family always marks it. Since I'm the only Williams aboard, I thought I'd ask you.
Seems like an odd thing to celebrate. That was 26 years ago.
In our family, it's not really a celebration, more like an obligation. Don't tell me you don't know about my family. My commanders always find out. It's not in my files or something?
There's almost nothing in your files. Technical scores and a list of crap assignments.
There's a reason for the crap assignments. I'm General Williams' granddaughter, the commander of the Shanxi garrison in the war. The only human ever to surrender to an alien race.
Don't tell me you're blamed for that.
Not formally, Dad got passed for promotion over and over. And I think my record merits more than garrison duty on a backwater agri-colony. Takes a special kind of thick-headed to march into a job where your family's blacklisted. I did it anyway. I'm not gonna let our name go down with Arnold and Quisling. Granddad deserved better than that.
I should have figured this out myself. I don't know how I can help you, though.
Look at who I am, Shepard. Do you ever hear me ask for help? It's not that bad things don't happen to me. If you stay with me long enough, maybe I'll tell you about some of them. But I deal with them myself. I don't need a shoulder to cry on, a knight to rescue me, or a man to make me happy. This is who I am. I like her. And you better like her too. So, you still interested in me? Baggage and all?
You're interested in me? It's hard to tell.
Maybe I'm not. I guess you've been too busy saving the galaxy to think about it. But hey, once we save the galaxy, maybe the Alliance will get its act together. Start acting like an actual government.
We better get going then. Seems I've got something to look forward to after we're done.
More than you know. I have a feeling things will come to a head soon. But don't worry, Shepard. I'll protect you.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
Not everyone's as close to their family as you are.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny, I never really thought about that before. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
We'll talk later, Williams.
Looking forward to it, Skipper.
And I wanted to include this particular dialogue in my roleplay and discuss it because Ashley gets a lot of hate, and a lot of it is because initially she seems very xenophobic. And my knee-jerk reaction when I first played it was pretty much the same thing too, but having gone through it a bunch of times, Ashley really grew on me, and if you romance her, which the option is there, especially in this art play, in this particular playthrough, I mean, or if you just simply talk to her more often, and just get over that initial hang-up, you find out why she is the way she is, why she's been, why she's kind of stubborn, why she gets shitty assignments because of something that she couldn't control. She's a good person, and I mean, she's a strong person too. I mean, she said it herself. I like who I am. I don't care if anyone else doesn't, but you better respect who I am. And I think that's something that's not really put into any kind of mainstream media anymore, or at all. And it's kind of a shame it's such a small part in this overarching story. But I feel as if a lot of people don't give Ashley a chance, and there's a lot there to like. And to a lesser extent, the same goes for Caden. But a lot of people that I've seen on YouTube and stuff like that, I mean, they either pick one or the other, and it's not they like both. Most of the time, they like one and absolutely hate the other, and that's that. So, I don't know. I think a lot of more people should give her a chance, and Caden too, for sure. But I don't know. There's a lot of depth to these characters, and it's not just everything that's on the surface or initial impressions. So that's my rant on that. And as far as the romance aspect of that, obviously leading up to it, well, maybe it wasn't so obvious, but there was hints there that Ashley might be interested in Shepard, and I kind of played it so that he was interested in her too, but that can escalate a little bit quickly, and all of a sudden they're really gushy about each other. But the way I played it was kind of cautious, mainly because on an alliance ship, that fraternization isn't exactly, accepted, and while it's different because it's Shepard, Nathan is a Spectre, it's still, regs are regs, and so, but I like that too, because it seems a little more realistic, well, maybe when we're not chasing down the scum of the earth, we'll have actual time to talk about the feelings that are out there, things like that. I mean, for both of them, I think it's pretty evident that they're focused on the mission. And then these feelings just kind of crop up because of the type of people that they are. So that is the justification for that kind of dialogue, and I think it fits well. And we can explore that later on in the series and see how that all comes to a head.
Good timing, Commander. We got a transmission coming in from the Citadel. Top priority clearance.
I'll take it in the comm room.
Commander Shepard, we've received information that may be critical to your mission against Saren.
What kind of information?
We've received an urgent message from one of our infiltration regiments in the Traverse.
I'm listening.
We currently have several infiltration units scattered throughout the border regions of Citadel space. This particular unit was gathering intel on Saren.
What did they find?
Unfortunately, the message we received was little more than static. The infiltration team must be in a situation where they can't set up proper interstellar communications. But the message was sent on a channel reserved for mission-critical communications. Whatever they were trying to tell us, we know it was important. Considering your interest in Saren, we thought you might want to investigate this. Find out what happened to our team. The signal originated from the planet Vermeer.
I'll look into it.
The Council prefers not to become involved in the specifics of Spectre activities. We only want you to be aware of all your options, including Vermeer. Good luck, Commander Shepard. We will keep you advised if we learn anything else.
And that's the end of recruiting Liara. Vermeer, a lot of stuff is going to happen in the next couple of videos. So when I said in the description of the last video that shit's going to get real really quick, I mean, a lot of stuff is going to be going down pretty soon. So Vermeer is going to be happening next. Anyone who's watching this, or some people watching this, may already know what happens, but for those who don't, stay tuned. And this is the part of the game where it's just, I love this part of the game, and I'm getting way more excited about being able to record this and record my thoughts and the thoughts of Nathan. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to some new videos coming out very soon.